What's up, friends? This is a new bag from, can you see that? Sandmarc. Now, Sandmarc have been making iPhone accessories for a while, all right? It's like a cabinet for your back, but it's designed to be the backpack that you use to film with your iPhone. And not just because there's a strap right here that you can put this in, which a challenge with that is like where you have to push record and get that going and then fit it in here without accidentally hitting the record. It's quite tight. I'd have to take my wallet off. It's kind of nice if you ever had a backpack where you put your phone in like this. You want it to be able to slide in really easily. It's actually kind of nice, getting it out of your pocket. Then you can film with this on, get this down real tight, and then be real wide angle here. That actually isn't all that bad. That could be very useful. But that's not what makes this an iPhone photography bag. There are pockets down in here. You see this is our laptop pocket. And you've got all of these pouches right here, which are designed for the Sandmarc lenses that fit on your phone. I guess that's what makes it an iPhone camera bag. I did a trip where I used just my iPhone to film. I got incredible footage. It was amazing. I used just a cheap gimbal, this one from Hohem. I'll link to whatever version of this they make currently. It didn't cost me anything. You know, they say this is the most popular camera in the world. You've got the wide angle on this 15 Pro Max. You got this like really long lens, which is pretty great. The iPhone footage looks like iPhone footage to me, and you've got lots of ways that you can be filming in log or some sort of ProRes. There's a lot to explore with this. This is a big ass bag. I mean, arguably, I would make an iPhone camera bag as a sling. Throw a couple lenses in there and a backup battery. But there's a lot more accessories that you can use for real iPhone filming. So, our main compartment here is packed with stuff from Sandmarc. We'll look briefly at these, but first of all, notice the capacity here, actually large, and it expands. This is what makes this bag sort of interesting, okay? It is not that often that you find a bag that fits all your tech gear and enough space for I'm expanding this right now. I'm doing the expansion zipper. They do something really interesting. I've never seen this before. We have water bottle pocket that a zipper goes behind, underneath, through the middle of to get what? Some more expansion. So now that main compartment, this is big. This is plenty of space for my clothes for a week long, maybe even longer, for a long trip. So you've got everything for your clothes, an extra pair of shoes, maybe a pair of sandals, toiletries shoved in here, packing cubes. Then you pull all that stuff out, you compress it, and now you've got every piece of your tech gear with you for the day. Maybe you're working in Shanghai. Maybe you're exploring somewhere in, I don't know. Why can't I think of a place you're traveling to? Like in Boston? All your tech stuff, protected, organized, all your camera stuff if you're doing the iPhone thing. You've even got some pretty decent admin here, here, and here. This one, by the way, goes all the way down. And look, they've even got some more things in there. Okay, all the way down. This you could just throw your Bluetooth headphones in here without their own big case. That's kind of interesting. And then a little guy out here. Now, when I first saw this, I thought that these were going to be kind of shit to use. But already I'm realizing this panel's so wide that this opens up nicely. I do not like pockets where you're scraping your hand in and out to get in and out of, in and outly. So the in and out on these is actually, I like. You're gonna notice immediately this is not your standard 1680D ballistic nylon, which most bags are made of, most like big bulky bags are made of. This is a little bit of a tighter weave. I think it's like an 800D or something. It feels great. Actually, I like this. This is good. You can feel it on the zippers. You like the way the zip pulls. These are all like metal zip pulls and water sealed zips that actually move really well. You see that rounded thing there? I've done some research on this bag. I've been looking at it, but this is my first time exploring it, and I can tell that some real designers got got hired to work on this. Now, before I get into all this cool tech gear, let's just look at some of the features here. Luggage pass-through, wide straps. These are like air straps, you know, big wide straps. People have already reviewed and talked about how this is a nice, wide, comfortable strap. I don't have any problems with this strap. I don't think it looks particularly cool. But when you're really carrying gear and have your travel stuff with you, this is exactly what you want. There's like a boxiness to the aesthetics of this that like some of you are not going to be drawn to, but the functionality is pretty incredible. And the lightness. 3.6 pounds. I'll be honest, it feels lighter than that. It feels really surprisingly light with nothing in it. Nice little elastic bits here that you can hide this away with for using our handles on either side, our handle on the top. These all have that kind of cheap mesh, the same mesh that's down here. Feels like a standard athletic mesh. This is not the kind of thing that's gonna last 8 years. You know, this is gonna wear and tear. This is like probably not gonna last a billion years, but it feels really nice right now. And it does breathe. They're using all metal hardware, and one of their more interesting choices here is this slide down magnetic. It's a very light magnet. I want more from the magnet over time, for sure. I have heard some people complain that you wrap like a sweater into this and it can fall out. I don't know if I'd have that same problem. You also have on the bottom a secret little compartment where you have more straps that come out too on the bottom. They are elastic, which means they're stretchy, right? I don't know how I feel about elastic for a strap like this personally, because this is designed to put a tripod under, right? So you can carry a tripod here. These are also designed for carrying a tripod. They have a zipper that goes down them to widen that out, and then you have this strap here. By the way, zipper comes all the way out down here. That's sort of interesting. I normally do not see water bottle zippers come all the way out. What's useful about that is you could actually get the bottom of it a lot wider. This thing zipped up, throwing my water bottle in there is not soup. I mean, yeah, you could shove it in. That's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. The thing is, if something's short, too short, this is probably a little too high. Peak Designs tripod, perfect. Look at that, just like right at that level, so I'll just be able to strap right around that. Now, I wanna look at the kind of cool stuff I can get from my phone from Sandmarc, but first, this episode is brought to you by my favorite notebook and pen company. They didn't start out like this. In fact, they started out making a clip for your iPhone to go onto a tripod. This is the Mark I pen. You see this sucker? The single best click mechanism in the world and the best barrel of a pen. I write exclusively with this now. Why? Because I've tried a bunch of pens. Go look at some of my pen and notebook reviews. I just found myself coming back to this. It's gonna last 100 years. It's a 100-year pen. And it just feels the best, the most beautiful shape. It's just a cylinder. Got a little bit of texture. Comes in different colors. I also use their Keep Book, which is their larger notebook that is hardcover. They have one this size that is soft cover. They have a Pano book, which is designed to fit right between you and your laptop. Excellent. I use it vertically. I just find myself thinking ideas differently, writing down a long page like this. I can't recommend going analog more. I know it's easy to just throw it into the phone note, but then it's, you don't see it again. You don't. You might, I don't. This is about me. I don't see it again. I also use their tote book, their mini, for my new pocket notebook. And this is literally theirs as well, the Mark II pen. All of this is Studio Neat, links below. I don't know if my link gets you a discount, but I guarantee you this is going to be the most satisfying pen and notebook experience you have. Definitely pen. Notebooks are people are like, I don't know, I prefer a notebook like this or like that. I guarantee you, you will absolutely love this pen. Listen to that. Is that working? Yeah, it is. The first thing I'm super interested in is an ND clip that just clips onto your phone. You don't need a special case. You don't need anything. Look at that. It's just on there now. ND filters. Excellent for filming outdoors, higher light. It lets your camera make settings, and if you're doing stuff manual, you can open up your aperture more. You get a little more of a cinematic shot. This is brilliant. An ND filter, and there are several in here, There are 3 different ones. There's an argument to be made that this is the only real accessory that you need. These ND filters are all polarized. This is one of those things that you can immediately upgrade your camera shit with when you're working with mobile photography in highlight situations. Another one you don't need a special case for is their cloud filter, which is apparently really great for shooting at night. You get a little bit more of a diffusion of the light. It can feel a little more dreamlike. Excited to check that out. Now, I have always been a Bellroy phone and wallet guy, right? Ooh, this looks nice though. This looks and feels great. I actually also really like how this protects each of my lenses. You know, this one from Bellroy doesn't protect them at all, but it has the best wallet in the world. The most secure connection. I can pull it off and do MagSafe if I want to. I almost never do. I'll link to this below. Here's their anamorphic lens, which comes with a nice little case. You can wrap it all up in this soft thing. And it's this guy, right? You've got, it pulls stuff in. You know what I'm talking about, right? You do. I remember the first time I started messing with one of these and I was like, what? It just looked so sick. Looks like they also have a screw-on clip for this guy. So even if I was using a different case, I could target the lens that I wanted with this, because this is super long. Okay, that's interesting. Now you can spin it the way that it needs to be. So I think it needs to be like this. I think it's pulling from the side like that. Yeah, so what it's doing is it's grabbing more wide. Now I'm gonna try to throw this on my cheap ass gimbal, which I don't know if it can hold this up with this kind of weight. All right, let's see. Doesn't look like it wants to. It's like, wait, no. That's when you have to move towards something with a little more firepower, which this one is old. I don't even know if it'll still turn on. Let's see. No, it doesn't turn on, but it was from Movie, M-O-V-I-E. This is what I used before, Anamorphic. What the fuck? Looked so sick. Now, for me packing these things into a backpack like this, you've got a chunk here. This is 2 inches thick, maybe back here. Tons of structure on the side of this bag and the back. Lots of protection. You have more organization back here, which feels really hard to get down into. You've got like almost some lens pouches down here. It's not quite thick enough for a DSLR lens. I think you could squeeze it in. These things feel really good to screw in. They do, the like real exacting millimeters of the metal. Here's their fisheye, okay? So I'm filming with my main lens on the iPhone, which has better everything, right? But I'm getting to get this real wide lens. Compare that to the wide lens on the iPhone, just so it's not nearly as wide as the fisheye going through the main lens. Possibly really useful in a filmmaking sort of position where you are able to switch quickly in and out from these things. I could picture throwing these things on clips, having them bam, 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 and then being able to just like clip them on really quick, even quicker than screwing them on. Fisheye is useful. I'll throw one of these clips in here as well. So I've got anamorphic, fisheye, wide lens, telephoto lens, microscope lens, macro lens. This microscope lens, super interesting because it has a light on it. I mean, I am right up against that. Look at that. This is great. Here's that mesh on the back panel. Oh, this is incredible. Here's a zipper with their water-sealed zip. Look at that. You can see the telomeres. You can see the little cosmic bears. This is interesting. I want to see what there is their main material. Look at that shit. What on earth? That's exciting. That's crazy. Like that texture on that lens cap right there. Oh my God. Why is that so adorable? Okay, so if we're getting real close up with something, if I was really, without being right on top of it, getting a good sense of detail, that's what this macro can do. And you see me, bro? You see what I'm working with? The idea of doing all iPhone content creation, very interesting to me. Ever since I did that trip to Africa where I didn't want to carry my whole freaking rig. I got to figure out a better gimbal for this. And that one's kind of a pain in the ass because it loses its charge over time. And you have to like weight it completely differently based on what lenses you're using. Do you have a recommendation on being able to use? This is hefty. This has got some weight to it. to be able to use a gimbal. Putting the macro over here. Laptop, 16-inch MacBook Pro, goes right in there, fits great. Definitely feeling some like floppy doppiness of this over here. Like I don't know why the iPad compartment has to be so floofy. I'm gonna put my ND filters just down there. Just shove them down there. Then I go battery right in here. I'll probably end up, well, I need my charger and my hard drives. Charger, I use an Anker USB-C that has multiple USB-C inputs. It's a GAN charger, so it's super powerful. I'll link to this below. It's smaller than the MacBook typical charger. I think that's important. I have my one working hard drive, which I'll put in here. Yeah, then I have an older hard drive, which is some projects I might end up working on, and some cables. I'll throw them in down here on the front with the battery. This front pocket is like my get you out of the way place. You always need to have like what I call second order access and storage, where it's like, I need you, I just don't want to see you. I know that I've got you, I don't want you in my way. I don't want you getting between me and the shit that I need to do. Up here on top, I'll do some snacks and cash. And my AirPods, throw those in here. Probably end up with, yeah, my dongle. So this very back ends up becoming like my mobile studio setup. I'm also gonna throw my DJI mics in here, which I still haven't used with iPhone stuff, but I've used as like regular documentary stuff. That's everything. Like, it's really interesting to have that chunk in the back, space for all the tech gear. And then you've got an entire main compartment. An entire main compartment. Completely unused. I don't have any tech pouch or anything. All of that is baked into the bag at this point. Plus a lot more than I typically take, just focused on iPhone photography. Now, I don't have space for my DSLR stuff. This is an absolute commitment to iPhone photography. And if I've got this, I'll probably throw that in there. By the way, also meshies and tons of organization over here. This is kind of fascinating. Aesthetics-wise, just a box. And I have basically nothing in my main compartment right now, but I have every piece of my tech gear in my mobile office right here, except for my headphones. These will have to go into the main compartment. I just don't think I'm comfortable with my badass headphones going unprotected. These are the Focal Bathys. These are the best. Going unprotected into here. Ooh, it's nice. It means I don't have to bring this case, but this memory foam and like lambskin wool is so good. I don't want to hurt my babies. So a very interesting value proposition. I mean, super interesting. All of their like complete expertise in mobile photography and videography. They're obviously gangsters in that. This is surprisingly innovative. That back panel having the thickness that it does, and I'm telling you, this whole structure, you feel really safe with this for your laptop and for anything else that you've got in there. It's not a camera bag. So it's not divider for your DSLR or your Micro Four Thirds or something like that. Very impressed. I thought it would feel a lot cheaper. And I actually find myself really drawn to it. Like aesthetically, it's not like my favorite as just basically a box on my back, but it is my entire gear cabinet. So I'm definitely at that stage of life where I'm like, so fucking what, dude? You know, going on an actual trip where you can carry all of your clothing, and then this with your, and it's your total, like if you're really doing content capture, you know, going, which most of the time this is it. The gimbal makes a big difference. You get these nice little panning shots. But a lot of any of the talking stuff is just this. I'll just hold it up like this, talk with someone, get some shit. Do you know about this trick where you're talking to someone and you're just getting really fly by the seat of your pants kind of footage, and you're getting their interactions. They don't know if they should look at the camera or look at you, and you don't tell them where they should look. Because you're asking them questions, and you're just doing it like this, and you're wide angle, and you're getting the audio, you're focused on the audio almost more than anything, so you're wide angle and you're up close. Then you go back and you get into a longer lens and you fire off some different shots of different things you could throw on top of it. Do you know about that trick? I'm literally self-taught, no lessons when it comes to filmmaking, so probably shouldn't learn from me. And yet at the same time, I literally have been doing it for a living without selling to you how to do it. So you could probably stand to trust me a little bit. What I'm interested in about all this stuff is the idea of going on a trip like Africa and not having to bring a bunch of gear, but having what I need to get some cinematic some real beautiful, some stuff that doesn't just look like iPhone stuff. The other thing that I'm not showing and that I would definitely take with me is this. A lot of the shots in that Africa video are taken from Insta360 X3. This would go sliding right in the main compartment. I definitely shoot a lot with this. Big landscape, wide, long. Grab 2 of these handles, get it really long. It feels like a drone shot. The world of mobile filmmaking is definitely interesting to me. What is exciting about it is you can get it good enough, and then you don't have to bring as much gear. And now your question is, what is the story? Right? That's where we want to be anyways. First 5 years of getting into this stuff is just about the gear. You just want the gear. You want to learn the gear. You want to learn how to use the gear. You want that gear. I want to have that, but I wish I had that. Well, you know, it's gear, gear, gear. This stuff is less cost prohibitive than a full, I mean, you've got a lot of reasons to buy an iPhone besides its camera and video. So you're buying a computer, you're buying a mobile workspace and your connection to the world. And then you throw on some accessories and you've got some interesting ability to get that macro or like way up close. I don't know if that's going to be useful in much of my filmmaking. But you then have the question of like, what's interesting about this? What's important about this? What's important about this is that thing I started with around your gear cabinet plus tons of actual space for your travel gear, right? Your clothes, your shoes, your toiletries, surprising amount of space. Expandable, in fact. Expandable, this expands, still fits under the seat in front of me on most domestic airlines in the US at least. I suspect everywhere. So I've got everything that I need in one bag. Then I pull all my clothes out, put it in the Airbnb or the hotel, compress this back up, and I've got my mobile film studio, workstation, all the shit that I need, including my headphones and my spare batteries for charging the iPhone, right? Fascinating. Love it. Shout out to Sandmarc for sending this out. Shout out to Studio Neat for supporting the channel. Use my links below. Everything is an affiliate link, so that means I get paid a little bit if you buy something. You know what that does? That puts food on my table. Thank you for that, at no cost to you. Sometimes there's a discount associated with my link if you click, or sometimes there's coupon codes that I add down there. Other than that, holla at your boy. Let me know. Hey, open roll call. If you've made something, something that's almost entirely or mostly made out of mobile photography or videography, link it in the comments. I want to see it. Let me see what you're doing. I'd love to see that. All right. Time for me to pack for another trip. Bye.